So we're live.
We're live. Hi, everybody. It's Courtney here with Jen and Dana, our guest creator for the month of October. So I'm seeing that a few of you guys have joined us. Just keep in mind that if this is the first time that you guys are watching a live here with us, we are in about a 30-second delay. So we will be reading the comments, but we might not be able to get to them immediately because there is a small delay. So before I jump into just a few updates for the website, I'm just going to have Dana quickly introduce herself and let us get to know you a little bit more.
Hey, everybody. If you don't know me, I'm Dana Joy. I'm the owner of Godfrey Creations. I'm ecstatic to be on this platform today. Be gentle. This is my first live. I've been crafting for almost 20 years. I started in 2000 and it's just kind of like built from there. I know all these beautiful ladies who are here with me today, and I want to thank you guys for allowing me to be your guest this month. If you guys have any questions for me, anything you want to know about me, I'm open to everything. So let's do this.
Perfect. Okay, so guys, just a couple of updates. Just to be on the lookout for the newsletter in your email. I know we've been getting a little bit of feedback that sometimes it goes to our spam folders. So it usually goes, it has gone out for all the updates in November. So if you haven't received it, check your spam folder. Make sure that you unflag it for spam so that from now on it goes to your regular inbox. And also for photos for the gallery and on Instagram and on Facebook and all of that, if you're sharing photos and you want us to see it, use the hashtag The Collective Creators. We will be reposting some of those on our social media and kind of sharing it with the rest of the community. That's it, right?
That's it. That's it for updates. Yeah. So
Okay. All right. Perfect. I'm in my at my parents' house. My internet went down, so I'm in my dad's office. You can see that his race car is hanging up there. So different setting for me.
we have a little bit of feedback.
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a delay on our end as well. But if you guys do have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Like I said, 30-second delay, but we will definitely get to all of them.
So Dana, we were talking before we started going live, and we actually started our YouTube channels the same year in 2013. I'm curious, what got you started making videos?
To be honest, I did not want to do it. I was very paranoid. You know, you have a tendency to start thinking I have to be as good as this person. And I had to get over that fear of worrying about, what avenue my talent lied in. And then one day I just went out and bought a camcorder and I was like, I'm going to make my first video. I'm just going to see, how it goes. And the biggest thing I can say, the more you do it, the more comfortable you become with it. And I recorded 3 videos and I started doing the voiceovers and everything was a hum and a ha. And, I was just so nervous. And then once I felt like I had enough, willpower to just let it go, I did it. And I don't think I'll ever change it. It's just become like an avenue for me to just show creativity, just, be able to communicate with other people, show them some things that might be working on, new products that come to the market. So, it was actually a dare from a girlfriend of mine that said, I make videos. And I was like, okay. And there I am.
It's definitely kind of addicting, even when you take a couple of days off from it, you're like, oh, I got to get a video up. Because it's like you miss that communication with the other crafters, especially just through the comments and things like that. And just knowing that they're watching, you miss that.
Exactly. And I just think it's this crafting community has probably been one of the best communities I've been a part of. Before I started crafting, I used to make cakes and I used to make soaps and but this is the first community I felt like everybody is here to support one another. So that's like one of the things that I love about this community is just a support factor from everybody.
Courtney, Do you have the video that you're watching, the YouTube? Do you have it on mute? Because I can hear. I think that'll
It's very low. I can't hear it. But let me see if I can. Again, not my computer, not my setup. So give me just a minute.
While you're doing that, I'll also just mention Mary couldn't be with us today, but she sends her hellos and was definitely disappointed that she couldn't join us. But yeah, I think that worked better. So do we have any questions yet at all?
No questions, but Diane says that she loves that how you do a lot of techniques. She likes to see the different techniques that you do, Dana.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's something that gets me makes me have to get out of my comfort zone too, is making sure that I'm doing those, testing myself to see, what more I can create with like a single product. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Do you have a favorite technique or like a go-to technique that you find yourself using?
Probably stenciling. To me, stenciling of using, embossing powders, embossing inks, the glitter paste that's like so addicting.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's like a surefire way to make a gorgeous looking card. You don't have to put a lot of effort into it. You just, pick something pretty. And if you're using inks, using gels, if you're using embossing paste, embossing powder, it is something that is so easy to do. And you can multi-produce those kind of cards. So yeah, probably stenciling.
Yeah.
And it's cheap too. A stencil is not that expensive and you can use it
Exactly.
so many different ways.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't think I'm as comfortable with stencils. Maybe I just don't use them enough, but maybe I'll challenge myself.
Even if you just start off with just using inks and not any of the gels or any of the paste, once you kind of get the hang of it, it really does become addicting because it's just something that's easy to do. And you can just change up the color. It's not like you have to color in each and every little thing. You can make it in purple and then tomorrow make it in black. So it's probably one of my go-tos. In that cabinet right there, I have 3 little binders that have nothing but stencils in them.
Really?
Really bad.
No, I think that's great though. I think I think it's sort of like when you find your style, like if you find something that you love to create with and it inspires you, then there's no reason not to use them.
Yeah, when I first started, I used to do a lot of coloring. And then I think I got like coloring kind of burnout for a minute. And that's when I started picking up stencils. And then I was like, oh, this is so easy to make backgrounds for this. And I don't have to worry about coloring each and every little thing. So I think that's how I really started to get into doing stencils. Because it was I need to just take a break from coloring everything. And then, that just became like that go-to thing.
Speaking of coloring, Terry wants to know, what is your favorite coloring medium?
Right now, and it's probably going to stay this way, is watercoloring. Absolutely my favorite. Like I have the Copics up there, and I still love them. But there's something about watercoloring that is, and I know some people get intimidated by it. That medium just calms me down, zens me out. I actually just paid for a course so I can really get involved in it. It is one of those mediums that over Copic coloring, once you put down the color, that is it. Using a clearless blender does not get it all out. There's something about when you lay down that watercolor, if it's not right, you grab a napkin and dab it off, then you start again. So yeah, watercoloring has now become one of my first loves. Absolutely.
And do you use actual watercolors, like tubes or
I have Daniel Smith's already in squirted out of the tubes. Oh God, I can't even name all the brands I have because it's ridiculous. It is totally ridiculous. And I just keep buying more because it's just so pretty. I do have ones that are already panned that I've just purchased, like Altenew, for instance. I've purchased those are already panned. But I like to take those kind of sets with me when I travel. And then my Daniel Smith stays here in the house. Because I did take it once to Arizona with me, and TSA wanted to take my Daniel Smith. And I was like, yeah, we'll never travel with these again. These are the household paints. But I just actually picked up the other day the Peerless watercolors. I like traveling with these because they're just handy and a lot of color on a sheet. But I also prefer not using a water brush. I would prefer to use like a regular paintbrush. That's like a go-to for I feel like I have more control that way.
Yeah, I agree. I can never get those water brushes to work the way they're supposed to. I either have like puddles of water coming out of it, or it's like bone dry.
Yeah. If I'm doing like a large background that doesn't like require a lot of detail, then I don't mind using the water brush, especially if I'm traveling, because otherwise I have to bring like the collapsible little water dishes, and on a plane that looks a little bit ridiculous. But I would prefer if I have the opportunity to set all that up, then I will definitely use a regular paintbrush with my paints. I have the markers too, like the watercolor markers. I like them again for traveling, but at home I rather squirt something out of the tube and paint that way.
Yeah, I think I'm much more comfortable with the brush markers. I haven't dabbled a lot in watercoloring. I feel like they're a really good medium though to get started. So maybe I just need to branch out and just.
Yeah, I started with the Zig markers. I started using Zigs first. And then I ended up buying like the Arteza ones, Arteza, one of those, that company.
Nobody knows how to say it.
Those people. I ended up doing those, and then I got my first Magellan Mission Gold paint tubes, and I was like, oh, this is it. This is my medium. Yeah, so that's my favorite medium, and I think it won't, take away my Copics or my color pencils, because I still love those, but there's just something very soul defying with having watercolor.
Yeah, I'm a newbie with watercolors. I definitely don't share it as much as I actually do it, because I'm just not comfortable with it. I don't feel like I can teach anybody something if I'm still learning myself. But I like that you don't know what it's gonna be. I mean, you got an idea, but how it dries is gonna be a mystery. And I like that. With Copics, I know exactly what I'm gonna get.
Yeah,
I know what it's gonna look like. With watercolor, I don't, especially being I am such a newbie, I really don't know what it's going to look like.
Yeah, so. It almost is like the same thing with the alcohol inks. You never know what you're going to get with these alcohol inks, and you're never going to be able to replicate that. And to me, that's like part of the cool factor, is that, I admire so many people that know how to watercolor like a million times better than me, but I choose not to compare myself, because, I'm a newbie at this. But yeah, it's one of those mediums that I actually, if you guys could see, there's 2 palettes on my desk right now, because I was watercoloring last night. So they just stay out on my craft desk now.
I think that's a really interesting point that you just mentioned about you choose not to compare yourself. And we've had conversations like that in the discussion forum with the Collective Creators. And part of the forum and the platform of the Collective Creators is for anybody at any point in their crafting journey can share in a safe space. And did you always kind of have that feeling of, I'm not going to compare myself? Is that something you came to realizing over time? Or
I always believe everybody has a different journey on their crafting, or really anything that they're doing, even if it's, sewing. Everybody starts off at a point. And you will totally kill your vibe and kill your inspiration if you're constantly competing against somebody else. If you're constantly saying, oh, I don't color like that person, or mine doesn't look as good. When you start having that mindset, when you're coloring, you start to freeze, and you find that you can't push forward because you're so afraid it's not going to look like theirs. So I just came to the fact that I admire the way everybody colors, or the way everybody uses a pencil, or like I have friends who sew, and I would not sew anything and wear it because it would probably fall apart. But I admire that. And I think if you admire it, that's great. But when you try to emulate that, that's not your path. Like, to me, is everybody is going to start at a certain point, and if they continue to grow and learn, they're going to be over here eventually. But we can't skyrocket to that without going through those processes, and then you learn what's your style. So people are saying, like, you know, oh, you're going to be the next this person. No, you need to be the first you. If you're the first you first, then what everybody else does is just inspiration. It's not competition. Like, I don't compete with anybody. My biggest competition is myself, to make myself do better. I will admire everybody and be like, Lord, girl, if I could color like you, I'll make $1 million. But that's not my path. I'm supposed to do what Dana Joy's supposed to do. And if I get to that, hallelujah.
I think that's such a great message. And I think too, with comparing, like, where does it end? Because I feel like there's always going to be people who you admire and look up to, and you may get there someday and you may not.
Yeah. And I think too, it will make you start to not enjoy the process, not enjoy what you're doing when you're constantly competing. Now, I'm not saying competition is not good. I'm not saying that at all, because I think it's just the way you feel about it. If you say, I want to be just as good as such and such, then you need to train yourself to be just as good as such and such, but not as that person. You need to be just as good as that person in your own being, not saying like, you know, I'm going to be the next Jennifer McGuire. No, honey, Jennifer McGuire is already done. That's her life. That's her creation. That's how she does it. You need to be the first you. And then you can say, I'm just as good as Jennifer McGuire. But
that's really good advice.
Yeah, you'll end up being a slave to chasing something that's just not meant for you. You just will. You'll be ended up, you know, feeling, if you feel like you've made it, that's all that matters. You know, don't compare apple to oranges. Just don't. Enjoy what you're doing. Like, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it anymore.
I found that once I found I've been card making and crafting for quite a few years, but it was up till 2 years ago where I didn't color at all. 2 years ago is when I started coloring, and that's when I found my love for it all over again.
Yep.
And so since then, it's like I've kind of become the colorist. I'm a colorist more than I'm a card maker. Right. So, you know, I don't spend as much money on all these unnecessary supplies that don't make me happy. You know, if something doesn't make me happy, do I love stencils? Yes. Do I love other techniques? Yes. But when it comes down to it, I love the coloring part of it. So that's where I'm going to invest most of my money.
And like I said, I support everybody in this community. Like, I will love on everybody in this community, but you have to remember to love on yourself, to appreciate what you do. You know, like, I can stand next to everybody there and just feel comfortable because I want to do what's right for me. And what's right for me is not being another person, or that'd be like we all talk the same. And Jen and I just had this conversation about how I talk. If we all talk the same, we would not be interesting. You know, then I would have to look like this person over here, and then we would have no variety. So that's like the biggest, like, people say to me, well, don't you get intimidated? Like, no, I don't get intimidated. Like, we're all here to support each other, and everybody's at different levels. Just like, enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the process of it all. I mean, like, I only come here once, and I'm going to color and get all the glitter in the world that I can get. That's it.
That's such good advice. Because I think that it is intimidating, especially people now. I mean, I haven't been around that long, but people who are coming in now have even more people. Like, more and more people are deciding to create YouTube channels. More and more people are creating blogs. So it's hard not to look at it as a competition. Yeah, you know, oh, I started at the same time as her. She's got 2,000 followers. I only have 1. Yours will come. That other 1,000 will come. And pretty soon it'll even out. Like, I know, especially YouTube, it goes in like sometimes I'll hit a plateau and then all of a sudden I'll get 1,000 subscribers in a month. And then I'll get 10 the next month.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'll put up a video and I'll get like 63 views. And I'm like, oh, that wasn't a good video. But then I'm like, I'm not going to take it down, or I'm just like, all right, well, eventually somebody will watch it. You know, somebody will stumble across it and be like, hey, okay, I like your video. But yeah, it's just enjoying the people and enjoying the process of it. That's all. Just don't take it all so serious.
Yeah, it's a hobby. It's
Yeah,
a hobby, and don't stress the hobby or else it's not fun anymore.
Don't stress it.
Yeah, and so many of us do it to alleviate stress, or I know a lot of people talk about having health issues, and that's kind of what they do to help alleviate pain and stuff. So remember why you're doing it.
Yes.
And like you said, both of you, like, enjoy the process and enjoy just being creative.
I started a blog. A girlfriend of mine, I was recovering from cancer in 2009, and she's like, start a blog. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And she's like, just start it. And doing that and starting in this community has changed everything in my life. Like, if I am, not feeling good one day, I can try to come down here and color or make cards or just scribble, just doodle something to not keep my headspace in that moment. And then there's other days that, I just can't do anything. I don't get out of bed. But it's what you choose to do with it. It's totally what you choose to do with it. And if it does give you some sense of relief, don't stop. I just had somebody the other day says, oh, I can't no line watercolor. You can, if that's what you want to do. And it takes practice. But if it's stressing you out, God, girl, put it aside. Choose another medium. Don't let it stress you.
Yeah. Or just put it away for a little bit until you're not stressed anymore, and then come back to it when you're relaxed and you've had some time away.
I will easily start something and not like the way it's going. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to walk out here. Yeah. I'll walk out and I'll come back later. You see it with fresh eyes, and then you're like, oh, okay, But then I might come back and still be like, oh, I don't like that. So then, it's paper.
Yeah, it's just paper, right?
Paper, throw it away, start again.
And a lot of times I find that, especially with, maybe with watercolor too, but especially with no line coloring, it looks way bad, way worse in the beginning. But as long as you keep going, it just kind of all comes together in the end. Yes. But I wanted to give up several times. I'm like, maybe I'll just do a few more petals and see how it comes together. And it does. It just comes together.
Yeah, I've had stuff that looked like mud. I was like, I don't know how we're going to fix this. But then you're like, okay, I'm just going to walk away and I'll come back to it. And then you can add some color pencil to it or a little bit of a highlight, and you're like, it looks so much better.
Yep, it's the little things that make it all come together.
Exactly.
So what kind of images do you prefer to color? Are you a floral person, a critter person, and everything in the hat kind of person?
I don't think I gravitate to just one style per se. Like, I know there's people who color flowers and they are masterminds at doing it. And then people who color critters. Like, I'm not a card maker that can do scenes very well on a card. Like, my thought process is not there. Like, I can't do interactive cards very well because that's math and like folding. I do not do good on that. But I really think I'm to the point now that I don't want to just color something for coloring it. And it's probably gonna sound weird, but it's like I have to look at the stamp set and be like, okay, does this speak to me? If I color this, am I gonna make it look okay? So I like all of them. I don't like really tiny images. Like, I'm like, oh, okay, that's just too much. Because then I got to put a whole bunch of those on a card. But I think I have been leaning more towards florals. And that's just because I'm actually doing watercolor class. And a lot of it has to do with flowers. But yeah, I can do larger critters. Like, I don't like the little baby critters. They stress me out. No, that's intimidating. Those little ones to like no line watercolor. Oh, we're not doing that. But larger ones, yeah. Larger critters and flowers probably the most.
This is not Frankie. This is not Macy. This is my mom's and dad's cat, and she has never, ever in her lifetime jumped on my lap. But during a live, she jumps on my lap.
Hey.
She's just joining the party.
Yeah, she's a tabby. She's a black and gray tabby. So I'm like, everybody's gonna think it's Frankie. And no, now she's laying down.
She's like, I just want to chat with the ladies.
She's not very lovable. She's just not one of those type of cats, but she's loving me right now, of course.
Oh, that's too funny.
Should we do that? I know we're only about halfway through. Should we do the fun part?
Sure.
Okay.
Up a little.
So, Dana, we have like rapid fire questions. Like they only require like 1 or 2 word answers. You can elaborate if you want to, but I'm going to read them real quick and you just answer them as fast as you can. Okay. Okay. Ready?
Sure.
Okay. Do you mail your cards or keep them?
Keep.
Glitter or no glitter?
Oh, glitter, honey.
Have you ever been to a crop?
Yes,
Do you have a lucky number?
I do. Do you
What
want
is
me? But lucky number 6.
Do you have any pets?
I do not. My doggy passed away. It's been a year this past February. But hopefully, when the travel ends this year and after I get back from Creativation next year, I'm going to get another dog. Yeah. It's lonely without a dog in the house. So yeah, we got to do that.
Yeah, it's lonely when you're used to having pets. It's definitely
Yeah.
different not having them. Furthest place you've traveled?
Oh, probably France.
Ooh,
I think France probably is the furthest place.
cool. Where would you still like to travel?
Oh yeah, I got a bucket list for that. I would love to go to Amsterdam, not Amsterdam, Australia. I would like to go to Japan. I would like to go to Africa. I would like, oh God, there's like a bucket list, babe. Like we can go all. My son is moving to Brazil, so I'm going to Brazil. So that was on my bucket list, and I can check that off. He's moving there in April, so we'll be all going to Brazil.
Oh, wow. I think Australia would be my top. I know you said Australia first. That would be my number 1 too. What is one thing most people wouldn't know about you?
Oh wow, I kind of give the world everything with me. I'm a twin. Some people might not know that. I'm a twin. I have a twin sister.
Did you just post pictures of her on Facebook
Yeah,
a couple days ago? I'm like, my God, you can tell they're related.
Yeah. That's my twin sister.
Well, that's cool. Okay, so the next ones are, it's a whole list and you just name your favorite.
Okay.
Okay, favorite stamp company, or you can name multiples.
Oh, geez. So many. So I'll quickly ramble. Pink and Main, Ink on 3, Concord and 9th, Simon Says Stamp. Jeez, there's so many.
It's always a hard
yeah.
question.
It is so hard. I'm just gonna say like everybody, because I probably got something of everybody's in this room. But those main ones, probably of the MFT. God, I got a whole bunch of MFT. Yeah, it's a lot.
All of them.
Yeah, all of them.
Okay. Company for paper pads.
Oh wow.
If you use
My
pattern paper.
first love is Doodlebug.
Yes.
Doodlebug Design has my heart when it comes to paper. And I've just started recently buying Sunny Studios because her papers are very, very bright. And I like paper that has like a more bold white compared to like the vanilla-y white on paper. But yeah, hands down, Doodlebug is my favorite.
I agree.
Yeah, so
Not
much.
that anybody asked me, but I agree.
Yeah.
What is your favorite stamp set that you have in your collection that you will never part with?
Wow. So I don't do a lot of Halloween, but it's the new, it's the old and re-released Witch from MFT. I can't remember the name of the stamp set, but every time I go to clear out my stamps, I'm like, nope, that does not go. And then, oh, wow. I should know this off the top of my head because I just went through my stamps. And anything that is inspirational, like anything from Simon Says Stamp that is very inspirational to me, or just like speaks about like empowerment or something, I have to keep. But I probably go, the ones I would never give away is sentiment stamps. Because no matter what kind of design you have, you can always use the sentiment. So Christmas sentiments never leave my house. Like once they're here, they're pretty much in this house for years before I will give them away.
Crafty tool.
Oh, my favorite is the, I'll show you because it's sitting on my desk so pretty. No, maybe it's not going to show you because I just dropped them off. But these,
Oh,
yeah, they're all over the desk now. That and my Misty is like, that stays on my desk and my Misty stays on the other side of my desk. That now my desk is a mess because all the brushes are everywhere. But those things, yeah.
favorite ink.
Oh, probably Distress Oxide right now. If I had to go with like a permanent ink, it would be Simon Says Stamp and Catherine Pooler.
Favorite adhesive.
Oh, hands down, my ATG gun. I use that for everything.
I could never, you know what? I used to love mine too. But we have a love-hate relationship. I've had mine for years, and it's the best adhesive as far as like the stickiest. I mean, once it's down, it's down. It's not going anywhere. But I swear to God, if you have one little problem within that roll, you have like ribbon of adhesive all over the place. It happened to me on camera, and I'm just like, whatever. It's the best for fun foam, though.
Yes,
Yeah.
but I
Really
really
good for fun foam.
it all depends also where you get your refills, because it always says like pull from the tab to start it. If you pull from the wrong side of that tab, you now almost wasted a full thing of adhesive, because when you go to put it on, you realize it's backwards. So I just had a falling out with mine the other day because I ripped it from the other side, and by the time I started to reel it back in, I was probably halfway through the wheel. So there was a lot of not so kind words to my ATG.
I
Having a love moment.
used to use it exclusively as well. And then I discovered the art glitter glue, and I love that. And the thing with the ATG, I find the refills are expensive and they're getting harder to find here in Canada. So I'm loving the art glitter glue. I think I did a video this week and I grabbed my ATG gun for the first time in probably 2 months.
Wow. Yeah, I did a massive bulk with a couple girlfriends of mine. So I think each one of us had 130 rolls.
Oh.
So I am still using those 130 rolls.
Okay, well, we need to check in with you on where you got those because we do money saving tip videos. So maybe we should feature that
Yes.
in the creators coming up one of these months.
Absolutely.
Okay, so favorite color.
Teal or red?
Favorite snack.
Chocolate would be first, which is a Kit Kat or Reese's. If I'm not eating those, my favorite would probably be Voodoo chips. They're they're so good. They're so good. You can I know you can find them in where were we at? Winn-Dixie, but you usually find them at a gas station called Wawa's. And Wawa's are just populating up here, but they used to be in New Jersey. So yeah, I'll bring you guys some Voodoo chips.
Courtney, have you ever heard of them?
Huh?
Courtney, have you ever heard of them?
No.
You never heard of Voodoo chips?
Maybe
Are
we'll
they potato chips?
Yeah, the potato chips.
we'll have to try some coloring challenge then.
Yes, I will bring you some.
I don't even go like in that aisle in the grocery
So
store.
you can't never, so you won't see them like in your, well, let's put it this way. I've never seen them in like in a Publix or like a Kroger or like a ShopRite, but we did find them in Winn-Dixie, and then they usually just have them at the Wawa gas stations. So every time we go, and we just had a Wawa built like literally 3 minutes from my house. So if I go to the car wash, I go there and I get 2 bags of chips.
Yeah, we don't have those here. We don't have those. I know that they're in New Jersey, but we don't have them in New York yet. Nothing ever wants to come to New York because we tax them to death. But we have like big gas stations like Cumberland Farms. I don't know whether you guys have those.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. Yep.
So I'm thinking maybe they might have them. So I'll have to check.
Yes.
Favorite drink, adults or otherwise?
Okay, so favorite adult beverage, hand down, dirty martini made with vodka. Then comes a dark and stormy, which is some kind of spice rum and ginger beer. It's so good. And then I'm a red wine lover, like straight wino. Straight wino.
Favorite season?
Oh, fall.
Favorite holiday?
Christmas, hands down.
Favorite vacation spot?
Oh, we went to the Dominican Republic, and the resort we stayed on was fantastic. So I'd probably say that or Belize.
Favorite day of the week?
Friday nights.
Favorite book?
Oh, wow. And Nobody Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. That was my favorite.
Favorite movie?
Oh, The Color Purple, hands down.
Favorite type of music or favorite song? Or both?
What a Wonderful World is my favorite song. I actually wanted it at my funeral. I already told my kids and he paid it at my funeral. And I will listen to every kind of music. Like my favorite is probably jazz, R&B. But I can listen to anything really.
Favorite animal?
A doggy and a squirrel.
Oh, I know, they're so cute. And favorite childhood memory?
Probably when I first started dating my husband. So we started dating, I was a freshman in high school. But I saw my husband in 3rd grade. So we grew up near each other, around each other.
Wow.
And I told my twin sister in 3rd grade, I saw him on the playground, and I told my twin sister I'm going to marry him. That was 3rd grade. And we've been married now 26 years.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Can't train another man like him, so. Just can't. He's used to my shenanigans. I don't think anybody else is going to put up with it. And then my dad, when we were getting married, my dad said he made me just for Greg. So that's probably my best memory.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yeah.
That's like from a movie. That's like not even supposed to be real life.
Well, that was really fun. I know those speed rounds can kind of be intimidating, but it's a good way to get to know someone quickly. So I hope you had fun.
I did. That was easy.
Well, seeing your favorite holiday is Christmas. I know we were talking before we went live a little bit here that you're doing a holiday card series, and it sounds like you're doing some collaborations with that. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so my holiday card series starts November 17th and it's going to go through December 14th. I have some very fabulous people. One happens to be right here that is joining me this year. So yeah, I reached out to several people this year because I think a lot of the times we get so into the holidays, we just kind of shut everything else out. And, you know, we have busy lives. Some of us have smaller children. But this year I just wanted to kind of bring some people together and really get us engaged in, you know, how we created our holiday cards. Because I know sometimes people can get into a funk and they're just like, I don't know what else to do. And then I think having the holiday card series just brings a lot of different techniques that you can instantly say, you know what, I am going to make Courtney's cards for all of my Christmas cards this year. It just, I don't know, the holidays just speak to me. Like I'm already listening to holiday music. I've been doing it like since like 3 weeks ago, which my husband is driving me crazy already. But so I have a lot of companies that are sponsoring this year and I love them. Simon Says Stamp is one of them. Pink and Main is one of them. Ink on Free is one of them. So all the companies that kind of, you know, said earlier that I love, they're all supporting me again this year. So yeah, watch out for that because we're gonna have coupon codes for the people who are going to be part of the hop or series. And we'll have codes for everybody to, you know, get some, you know, cute little Christmas stuff for their stuff or other stuff, whatever they want to buy from the shops. But I have 20 fantastic women with me this year.
How amazing.
Which is, I'm just blessed that everyone said, sure, Dana. Sure. So yeah, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have, I'm going to have some giveaways going on during the series. We're going to have guests every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturdays will be guests. And then in between, I'll fill in with doing like some extras. We'll be promoting on Instagram. So make sure you watch the Instagram. Yeah.
So you do a card a day for 3 weeks?
Yeah. So the people who are doing it with me will be making cards. And then I do videos as well throughout the series. And this year it's just like, I don't ever tell anybody, this is the style you have to make or, you know, this is the stamp set you have to use. I want everybody to just do what they love. Like, I'm very loose when it comes to stuff like this. Like, you know, don't get your head banging against the wall. Just have fun with it. So yeah, we're going to have a guest. And yeah, I've already made like 6 cards. And it's, you know, but I'm that kind of person, you know, like I got to get some of them done in advance because, you know, you'll see me on YouTube and I'll be passed out.
You know, it's hard to keep up sometimes. I started my first Christmas cards for my holiday series today.
And I used to make, oh God. So this is maybe 4 years ago, because I don't think I've done it in 4 years. So for about 16 years, I made all of our holiday cards. And that would be for, my husband was in the Air Force. I worked for the Air Force. So I would make cards for the people in the Air Force. So I would usually make about 150, 160 cards.
Wow.
And then as the kids started getting older, you know, they wanted friends cards, or they wanted ornaments to be made. And then I said to my husband, we're just going to take family picks. we're not making all those cards anymore. We're going to do family picks. And, but now my kids are grown and now I'm like, I guess I'm back to making cards. So, and I have some friends that buy, you know, they place an order and they're like, hey, I saw this card in your card series. Can you make me about 20 of them? I'm like, sure. So yeah, it makes me really have to do holiday cards, and it makes me have to try to think outside the box. So yeah, join us. We're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, and I believe we can find, for those who just might have missed it, all the information for Dana's on the guest creator page, and we should have a link, I think, to your YouTube channel as well. But I can't wait to watch it, and I love that you're doing a collaboration. So
yeah, there's if I could have had like 50 people, I just would have invited everybody. We just had a month-long party. It's a lot of work. I would say that, in Courtney, you know it too. It's a lot of work putting these things together. Even like blog hops are a lot of work to put together. So that's why I have to like plan. Once I started doing this in August, so I can like plan ahead. And then I was telling everybody earlier that I just happened to plan it while me and my husband's going to be on a cruise. That wasn't a good thing. But you know, there's upgrade internet in the middle of the ocean, so we'll be doing that. So yeah, it should be fun. It should really be fun. This is a even a way for me to give back to some of the people who support me, and that's probably the thing that started it. I just wanted to, you know, have giveaways for people who support me all year long.
yeah, that's great. So you were talking about card making for Christmas. Do you have any other holiday traditions?
It was so funny. A girlfriend and I were talking about this the other day. Like, what does like Christmas mean to me? So while I was younger, and even when my kids were younger, we were a military family, my husband and I and the kids. So we weren't always around our family for the holidays. But Christmas Eve, all the adults get to open all their gifts. And you know, this year's just me and my hubs. So, you know, it's like, okay, open up your stuff, like we're good. But on Christmas Eve, we will always be at my grandma's, and all the kids opened one gift, and all the adults opened all of their gifts, and we eat gumbo. Right, my grandmother and my grandfather are originally from New Orleans, so that's like our go-to. We make nothing else but gumbo on Christmas Eve, and then, you know, we eat the leftovers on Christmas Day with breakfast. So yeah, I think this year it's going to be different because my daughter lives in Arizona and my son is in DC right now. So I'm like, so you're going to come home for Christmas? And he's like, I was thinking about going to Mexico City. And I'm like, really? Like, leave your mom? So yeah, it might just be me and the hubs. And if it's just us, you know, we just pop open champagne and make mimosas and
Oh, I love it.
make some waffles, and yeah, mimosas all day. We're like happy.
Sounds pretty good. So we have about a few minutes left here. So I guess I'll just remind people if they have any questions that we want to get in before the end.
Yes.
Of that.
Yes, we have one. Where have you traveled with the Air Force?
Oh, we started off in New Jersey, and then from New Jersey we went to England, and then from England we went to Alaska, and Alaska we went to Georgia, and Georgia is where my husband ended up retiring. He just retired 2015. So yeah, he's newly out.
My dad is in the garage. He builds race car motors, so he spends all his time out in the garage, so he can't hear me. But he was in the Air Force as well. And as you know, Mary's Air Force too. So he's like all interested. He's like, well, what rank is she? And I was the youngest staff sergeant. I don't know what you're talking about, but
yeah, I would tell you the Air Force life was, oh God, I have friends I have met at our first station, and we are still friends till this day. It is especially if you're overseas, everybody becomes your family because everybody doesn't have their family with them. You know, it's always like, you know, the mom and the dad and the children, or, you know, maybe a grandparent. But there was, hands down, my husband spent 29 years doing it, and I would never exchange any of those 29 years for anything in the world. I mean, you just meet some of the most incredible people. Thank God we have Facebook, because then you like reconnect with people that you didn't, but my kids are still friends with, kids that they met when they were like 2 and 3. It's
Awesome.
it was hand down the best 29 years ever.
Wow. And you get to go places that most of us never will.
Yes. It's so funny because my husband was deployed a lot. So we didn't, I had the small kids back then. But we would, make efforts to go up to London, or my sister came over and we went to France. My husband and I went to Amsterdam. I miss getting to Italy, so Italy's on my bucket list. But he used to be deployed all the time in Italy. So I was like, just bring back, red wine. And if he was going to Greece, I was bringing back like olive oil. But then other than that, it was, it's hard to move around constantly, but you meet the best friends and they just end up, lifelong friends. Like a girlfriend just messaged me or put it on Facebook 2 days ago, a picture of her son and my daughter. No, her daughter and my son. And they were like babies, like maybe 18 months old each, if that.
Oh, I forgot my dad's phone was in here.
Hello.
Somebody else wants to join the party.
And I don't know how to, okay, he got it out there. Okay, sorry. It's like, I literally came in here, I was like carrying my tripod. I have my phone charger, which is not charging, by the way. It keeps telling me low battery, even though I have it plugged in. And it's like, when you're not used to your normal setup, it's like, it's so weird. It's like little things that you don't think about. Like the cat jumping on my lap and the phone ringing.
I don't think you mentioned, Courtney, that at the beginning that your internet went down at home. So I know you said you were at your dad's, but you didn't say why. So I got a text message from Courtney like 20 minutes before we're getting on to prep, because it takes us a while to prep for these. And she's like, I need to go to my parents. I have no internet. So you never know what's going to happen when you
That's right.
And then I get here and I'm like, Dad, what's your Wi-Fi password? He's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, okay.
Oh my goodness.
And then, so I'm not even on Wi-Fi right now, so it's kind of skippy a little bit. But as I'm looking down for like panicking, trying to find a place to plug my phone in, I'm seeing a little sticker stuck to his modem. Your Wi-Fi info.
Priceless.
He's not very technical, but
Same here. I'm like, what's our password, babe? He's like, babe, like I made it so easy. I'm like, well, okay, well, what is it? He's like, I don't remember.
I know it's my name, but then it's something after that, and I don't know what it is. And I'm like, what's capitalized? He's like, the C. And I'm like, I know there was another letter that was capitalized. He's like, yeah, one of them. I'm like, my name is kind of long. Like, I don't know.
Can you tell me which one?
Yeah, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
Oh, that's too funny. So Dana, I see some pins behind you. Do you collect the enamel pins?
Yes, I'm a junkie. I'm like a straight up junkie with these things. I'm going to be actually doing a video about how to store your pins. So last year at Creativation, I had a lanyard that had all my pins on it. And I was just like, I need more. But, I'm going to be walking like this with all these pins. So I was like, okay, I need to display some of them and then collect more to wear on my lanyard. But yeah, I got into them and I haven't stopped. And I actually purchased my own pins. They will be here November 4th. First time ever. So yeah, I made my own pin. Because, I need to put on my board.
They're becoming really popular, and some of them are like they have moving parts to them and everything. It's like incredible, some of these.
Yeah, it was a daunting thing to do, but I was like, I'm doing it because I like them. And I would like to have my own, even if they, nobody likes them or they don't sell. I just wanted to have my own pen. And you can't order just one pen. Like,
we made them for the collective creator, so yes, we know that.
Yes. Okay, how about 5? Can I just get 5 of them?
Yeah, no, they're like 500 minimum.
feel like a no. Okay, what's the minimum?
Yep.
So, yeah,
Same with
I'm an
stamp sets.
avid collector of them. I think, I think they just add like a uniqueness to your space.
Do you
even
have
if
a
you put them
collective
on.
creators one?
I do not have a collective creators.
Oh
one.
wow, that will be one of the
Yeah.
matches tomorrow.
He's like, that's it. That is it. Get her off.
You'll have to come find us at Creativation.
Yes. I'm just like, I like putting them on my backpacks because I think they're like conversation starters. It's like, oh, where did you get that from? Oh, well, let me tell you where I got it from. So yeah, I like doing stuff like that. I think Courtney's phone died.
Oh, maybe it might have. Well, it's a good thing we only have a couple minutes. So yeah, we might have lost her actually, which is fine. So I'm not sure if we have any other questions from the community. I actually can't see, so she was our go-to person for questions. But if there's anything that anybody's asked that they have questions about, then we'll pass those along to you maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll come right back into the thing and answer them for them.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
So that will be great. Okay. Well, I think then we will say goodbye. So if that's okay with you, that was super fun. And it was so great to get to know you.
Thank you.
The live chats are really quickly becoming probably one of my favorite parts about the collective creators. It's amazing to be able to get to meet people and get to know them a little bit better over the course of an hour. And I believe so strongly in building the community and building relationships. And it's just really fun. And I know that you had said you'd never done a face-to-face before.
No.
So I know that could have been intimidating, but you were fabulous. And it was just really great to get to know you. And I'm looking forward to seeing you. Dana and I and Mary and a couple of other people are going to the Kathy Rakusin Coloring Challenge this December in Orlando at MFT. So super exciting. So I get to fly down from Canada and see a bunch of crafty people. So I'm super excited about that. But thanks everybody for joining us today.
Thank you, everybody.
If you're catching us on the replay, you can still leave questions and we'll be sure to try to answer them before the month is out. So have a great day, everyone, and we will see you soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye, everybody.